Hey, what's going on there, YouTube family? Mr. Matt here with Mr. Matt's 5 Minutes of Finance, where we help you along on your journey to financial freedom 5 minutes at a time. Today, I want to talk about a topic that you might think, well, how is this related to financial independence? Well, if you think about the fact that among African Americans, their number one asset in terms of their net worth generally is their home. So it's important that not only do you think about owning your home, but perhaps in this case, gentrification, which I'm going to talk about today, that you think about keeping the home that you have or keeping the family home. To get things started, I first want to have a definition on the screen, and I want to read it to tell you what gentrification is. Gentrification is a process of renovating deteriorated urban neighborhoods by means of the influx of more affluent residents. What you talking about, Willis? Well, let me break that down, Arnold, to give you a more common language definition. Gentrification really is about white people coming back into the hood so that they can be closer to work, concerts, and sporting events. That's really what gentrification is. And when they come back into the hood, generally what that means is that black and brown people are going to be displaced. You see, what happens, generally speaking, in terms of community, is that once a neighborhood becomes about 10, 15% black, it becomes 90% black in the next 10 years due to white flight. And so what has been happening over the years is that white flight has been taking place where white people have been moving out to the suburbs. Now, you have to recognize these suburbs don't have sidewalks. These suburbs often don't have parks already there. Those things are primarily in the city. The libraries, the parks, the sidewalks are back in the city. The jobs, the big buildings, the sporting events, they're all in the city. And so there's a commute that has to happen 30, 40, 50 minutes depending on what city you're in. And so that can grow weary. And so then those white flight have a white return into those neighborhoods. So when that happens, it is called gentrification. So how can you tell when gentrification is about to happen? Well, there's some signs that happen in the neighborhood. If you see a yoga studio start to pop up in your neighborhood, that neighborhood might be getting ready for gentrification. And I know they say namaste. I don't know who Nama is, but I'm thinking you should stay if you see a yoga studio coming into your neighborhood. And so if it's not you, but maybe it's your family member, maybe it's your grandma or your auntie them, then I want you to educate them about this whole process of gentrification and the need to maybe have them stay. I know a woman, let's call her Mother Williams for the sake of this example, who bought a house for $30,000 in Alexandria, Virginia 20 plus years ago. Now they're building a metro station less than a mile from the house. The house is already near a pretty big shopping area that has come up in the last 10, 15 years. High-rise buildings are starting to come up around this area. That house is probably going to continue to go up due to the yoga studio, Starbucks, and Whole Foods that have come into the neighborhood. So the key thing there is to not sell, don't sell, but hold on. And she has done a wonderful job with that. So the way you can find out, how can you find out if your neighborhood is one of these neighborhoods that is going to be targeted? First, you have to understand that these commercial entities, when we're talking about malls, when we're talking about grocery stores, when we're talking about high-rise apartment buildings, these companies do a study on neighborhoods and they have a 10-year plan in place with a city. And so those things get discussed at city council meetings. The cable companies are required to broadcast these city council meetings, and they're those channels that you pass by trying to get to HBO and ESPN. You might want to stop at those channels, and when they're talking about, well, we're trying to decide if so-and-so's going to get a liquor license this year, and if this company is going to be able to have their building permit, that stuff is pretty boring, but that stuff is where you might be able to find out which neighborhoods are going to be next for the yoga studio. And if you or your family member lives in one of those neighborhoods that is going to be gentrified, then you might want to hold on and stay in that neighborhood. And you want to look around Harlem, Chicago, St. Louis, DC. Pretty much every major urban area has gone through some form of this, and others are continuing. I want to thank everyone for watching. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Take care of yourselves and your financial futures.